So what's great about Bani's collection is that she's not trying to pretend to be anything that she's not. I love the fact that she's used gold as her color palette throughout. It's a difficult color to work with. It can be in a country that's all about explosion of colors. It can be a slightly daunting color to work with, but she's decided that she's going to use it and she's stuck to it. All the designs they're very heavy, so it's very clearly towing the bridal line, but despite that it's still very modern, which is a difficult balance to have, and which I think Bani has pulled off very successfully. So I would want Bani actually right now to talk about her inspiration behind using gold, the reason she's decided to take this kind of a risk.
Thank you so much, first of all, for actually getting what I tried to do with the collection. So basically, this is what I tried to do was to incorporate rich Indian embroidery with modern silhouettes to give a fusion look. And that too, I have tried to use very subtle, like gold to champagne color. So the gold element is maintained throughout the collection, but in a very subtle way. So even if you pick out this piece, like after 5 years or 10 years from now, you can always team it up with a good jewelry anytime and any way you desire. So it can be, used as a vintage piece.
Were you ever worried about using gold as your color palette for your very first collection?
Not really, because gold is a very vintage color. It's been coming on for ages, so I feel really happy using this color. So yes, great.
What I really like about Kanchan's collection is the fact that it's very staunchly and very decidedly used silk as a fabric, and she's throughout consistently used silk, which is a very difficult fabric. It is not something that you see in cocktail dresses. It is one of those fabrics that Western designs and Western clothes stay away from. But Kanchan decided that she's going to use it, and she has a logic behind it, and she will not shy away from it. So I think in that sense, she is captured, even though she is from Dubai and she is catering to a very Western market, she has captured India in very contemporary modern design. So that's what I really love about it. And I would want Kanchan to explain what the thought process behind creating pieces that are so simple, so clean, but so rich, even despite the minimalism that there is in them. I would want her to explain the thought process behind that.
Sure, thank you. The idea for the collection really is to keep the lines simple so that you can wear them. They have to be classic. You should be able to keep it in your wardrobe for years, pass it on if you need to, and for that you really have to stick to the simplicity. So in terms of designing for my collection, that's one thing I look at: the silhouette, the cut that I want, and that one area of focus. That's it. The eye needs to just go to one part of the dress which you want to focus on. And it becomes very easy when you do that. When you clear your mind of the clutter and focus on one thing, it just flows from there.
Is it difficult to be so decisive when you're launching your very first collection? Because it can be a bit daunting to say no to things and to say that no, I am going to follow only this design sensibility and I'm going to make that my signature. Is it at all difficult?
I think if you try to do it consciously, it is difficult. If you just go with the flow and say, you know what, I'm just going to create whatever comes to my mind, and you allow yourself that creative space to say, let's see what happens. So a lot of times you come up with a design and it doesn't work. It just doesn't. But you have to give yourself that space to say, it's okay if it doesn't work. And sometimes it's just amazingly gorgeous. And I think for me personally, not coming from a fashion background, that has been what's driven my collection from day one. I have created every single piece that I would be proud to wear, that I would be happy and comfortable to wear. So it's in that sense, it's been easy for me. I haven't really tried to think too much about whether people will like it, what will they think. So I think if you put yourself into a creative bubble and you just create for yourself, you will be amazed at what you'd come out with, and it gives you an idea of what you're capable of doing as well. Thank you.
What's great about Rupali's collection is that it's at least I find it to be very inclusionary, which is something that fashion is not usually associated with. Fashion is generally considered as a very exclusionary, very difficult to enter space, created for a very specific kind of bodies, created for with a very specific idea of what femininity is in mind. I think Rupali has taken a great risk, and it's wonderful that she's gone ahead and created designs that are not meant for really thin, laddish bodies. From what I see, they're meant for fuller women. She's created stuff that is for that are she's created designs that are strong. They are for androgynous bodies, and yet they can be very, very feminine as well. So I think that is very, very interesting. And for somebody who's new to do that, is usually you see that as a learning curve for designers. They do it a few years down the line when they are a little more confident about what they are and what they're designing. But I see Rupali has done this right in her first collection, so I find that very interesting and very motivating actually. So what I'd like to ask Rupali is, where did the thought of going slightly tomboy, sometimes very, very feminine come from?
Well, it's like a transition that I keep going through as well. So basically, by nature, I'm a tomboy too. And, I used to get extremely fussy about, oh my God, what do I wear? So that's where the inspiration actually came from. And I meet a lot of clients who really don't want extremely embroidered or extremely, heavy stuff. So that's when I thought, why not create something that is minimalistic, which has feminine appeal to it. It's still little easy to wear and has a grace. It's elegant. So that's where the inspiration came from. So the tomboy fuss.
So is that going to be your signature as a designer, that you're always going to create stuff that is slightly androgynous, slightly meant for not the girl who fits into the stereotypical idea of what a fashionable girl looks like?
Yes, that's what I am. Basically, that's what is inside me. So it's all out of fashion because, by profession, I'm basically I've done management. So fashion is just like something that comes from within me, and I thought that this is where is my niche. This is where I'm going to create something that's not extremely androgynous. I see that you get either a very androgynous look or you get extremely feminine look. There's nothing in the middle. So that's where, that's where I thought that maybe we should create something that sort of fuses both the things. Sure. So that's where it came from.
Thank you. Thank you so
problem.
much.
Thanks.
So what's really nice about Reshma's collection is that she says that she comes from the south of India, and it's very evident her South Indian influence and her what she's drawing from the South Indian film industry. It's very evident, and she's not trying to hide that at all. One of the things that she told me while I was speaking to her was the fact that she does not want to lose her roots. She wants her culture to reflect very clearly in the way in her designs, in the colors that she's chosen to work with, in the kind of craftsmanship that has gone into her work. So I think that is to be able to say that and to consciously make an effort to keep to your roots is it's a very great thing for a new young designer who's not completely found her feet completely, but is very self-aware in terms of what she wants to do with her work. So I just want Reshma to sort of explain what was the thought process behind doing stuff like that.
See, the bridal, basically I have tried to use different elements like cut work, and like I have tried to use velvet and all. But whereas my cocktail collection, if you see, we have different. My theme for SS 2016 was Angur, because grapes are very sweet and multifaceted. So I feel it's like a woman. It represents a woman, like her moods and how she is. So that's what is the collection about. And as you see, rose quartz, it's the color of the season. So I could not miss it actually. It has been voted in Pantone as the color of the season. Yeah. And the fish cut and all, I can't give it a miss because lots of South Indian celebrities and all, they wear they pick up my design. So this is something which they can easily wear for a red carpet event or a filmfare or a SIMA or something like that,
I see some very interesting, like this blue dress that I'm looking at. It's got a very interesting cut. The flounce is very Spanish, which is a global trend right now, which we saw in the spring-summer collections of major designers in New York and in Paris and all of that. So is that a conscious decision, that were you trying to keep in line with global
Yes, because I have worked with the European market for a very long time. I was a design head for a number of European design houses earlier before shifting to India. So I always love to blend my design with the European and the Indian tradition. So Indian, I'd like to incorporate the handwork on my garments, and European like cuts and all, I usually follow it, like, And I think that is going to be a vogue because Indian women are also being very modernized and they like to try the contemporary thing now. Earlier, the bridal thing, they only wanted to come for lehenga. But now they are very open to a crop top and a silk skirt or something, a long flowy skirt and all. So even the mindset of the customer is also changing. Yeah.
Thank you. So, Archita's collection is largely bridal. Her collection is largely bridal in pastel colors. So when we think about brides in India, we have a very specific thought process in terms of very heavy work, very it's very heavy. We come from that tradition, and there are a lot of elements going on when you think about bridal clothing. What's interesting and what I really like about Archita's collection is the fact that it completely departs from that stereotypical thought process that we have when we think about brides and lehengas. There's not too much going on. They're clean, they're simple, they're minimalistic, which is something that younger brides who aren't used to that kind of overwhelming silhouettes, well, the ones that are not used to it, I think that would be very appealing for those brides. And also, it's a slight risk to take because when you're coming from a culture that is all about more and more and more, to actually go less is more in your very first collection is a risk, but I think it's going to pay off. So what I want Archita to tell us is why go so minimalistic in bridal, and what was the thought process?
Yeah, so this is basically a old world charm. So mirrored work automatically is like an old world charm. But what I did is I gave it a touch of a modernism where it's more like nicer for like your sangeets or receptions or your mehendis. It's perfect. It's apt. You don't really have to wear it for like your main event, like your main So it can be made even more heavier if it's for a reception or something. So I think it's more elegant and pretty. The pastels are in, so
Was there any thought process in going after pastels? Because that is not something that you usually see in bridal clothing. That is, because we are, like I said, we are about, heavy, dark colors and, all of that, bright jewel tones and all of that. So what was the thought behind going for pastel shades in bridal clothing?
Yeah, so my brides always definitely want bright colors, but at the same time, I think for few events, it's nicer to wear like a different shade. You could be like really different on different occasions in different shades. So it'll be like really nice and different. Even for pictures, I think nowadays there's so many photographers, and then you're getting beautiful pictures with all the pastel shades around you.
Great.
I'm actually an actress and a painter. So I would like that if I could comment on her collection since I'm wearing her dress. Sure. Isn't it? That would go really well with you. Hi. Since you all know that I'm an actress and a painter and we're working on something together, let's see this dress I'm really impressed with her collection, and I really like the colors that she's used for a bridal thing because normally it's very heavy, but right now I'm feeling very light, and I think all the viewers are really going to enjoy her collection. I really recommend you all to wear her collection.
Thank you so much.
Cool.
So is there an order, Swajit and Rishi, or Rishi and Swajit? Okay. So Rishi and Swajit's collection is sort of a dedication to Chennai and the recent floods that hit them. The thought process behind what they were trying to pull off was basically they were just trying to help the craftsmen in Chennai regain their livelihood, get something better, give back to the industry that they're becoming a part of. What I really like about their collection is the very, very unusual cuts that they've chosen to work with. Like we saw globally also, the spring-summer collections of major designers were all about really sometimes even bizarre cuts. I wouldn't say they're bizarre, but there are just everybody's right now playing with cuts and silhouettes and flounces and just stuff that we haven't seen. There's a lot of contradiction going on in designs. So I think their collection is very, very reflective of that. It's very unusual. They've kept it very simple, even though they've used fabric as rich as silk, which is very interesting. So what I would want to know is what was the thought process? What were you guys thinking when you decided to create a collection like this?
Basically collection for women's wear, and this is like age between 18 to 25, 35. Anyone can wear this, and this is a collection which has a reusable usability. You can access it with a pant, you can access it with a skirt, lehenga, anything. And the thought process of the collection is, I told you, it's all about craftsmanship. It is like more of employment of the craftsmen, more of a intimate, nice embroideries, and more of a usage of Indian fabric.
Basically,
It's all about Indian.
more craftsmanship.
Yeah.
To the fabric, to the embroidery part, there are more and more craftsmanship, which include more and more employment to the people of Bengal, to the people of Chennai, so they can get more and more work over there.
Why the focus on Chennai? Is there a story there? Is there something? I mean,
Basically, the raw silk we get, the original quality raw silk we get from Chennai. It's all woven in Chennai. So after the flood, the craftsmanship has in such condition that they can't produce it. They can't have a certain money to proper food or everything, because they lost everything. So we try to promote the Chennai ka raw silks so that we get in orders, we make pieces, we make a collection, tribute to them, because I want later on the craftsmanship get work through the collection. Because the more we produce, the craftsmanship will be able to weave more raw silk, and they can have their own life to back.
They lost their money, they lost their electricity, there was no looms available, all of them were flooded. So it was just a small tribute to the people, so it can help them.
so didn't that make things hard for you as designers to go to a space which is actually in trouble and start working with those people?
This collection we worked on that way, because when this happened, we had already last year's pre-decided stocks on raw silks. So the thought came on that time only, why not we try for them something. So we used the last year raw silks as a dead stock raw silk we used, and we tried to make something very innovative so that the entire spring summer will be hit. We will try to hit on the spring summer with this collection only. So that more and more consumption of the fabric will be used, and the craftsmanship will get a lot of work. That's the main motto.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah. Please come, Tanvi.
So this is Nishank's collection from India Beach Fashion Week, which is why the white makes perfect sense, and with Bombay's heat, it makes even more sense. What I really like about the collection is white is a beautiful color to work with any which way, but the cuts are amazing. My favorite piece is actually the one with the flounces here. I think it's a great ode to Spanish influence, which is something that we saw big time in spring-summer collections of Oscar de la Renta. and major designers, Michael Kors, Oscar de la Renta, and all of that. So what I would want Nishank is to explain where what is his design influence.
So my thought process about this is it was first of all whites and again Goa. And my first debut show, India Beach Fashion Week. So I tried to, like keep it minimalistic, more of transy, and again, a lot of sheers, very see-through. I wanted to maintain that sexiness. The beach goddess thing should be there. She recently did a shoot for me, and she's Sanvi. She did a shoot for me, and it was amazing shooting on the beach with her. And basically, it's nice. You feel light after wearing these clothes. So that's all.
Is white going to be your signature color, or is this just relevant for this collection?
This is my first collection. Didn't want to experiment much because everybody wants white in their wardrobe. So yeah, white is the perfect color for spring summer 2016. That's what I feel.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yes. So hi, this is Tanvi and this is Nishank, the designer, my favorite designer currently. So he's a very good friend of mine, and when Nishank showed me his collection, I was in shock for like 2-3 minutes. I was like, how could you do that? How did you manage to do that? It is beautiful. It's all white. I think every girl's dream is to own one white outfit. And seeing his collection, I think all other designers are going to get a run for their money. I mean, he is awesome. These designs are really pretty. They're very easy, beautiful. They have ruffles and sheer and see-through. I think it goes in every kind of occasion. So if you wear his design and you go to an award or an event, people are going to definitely see you. Who is that and whose design is that? So I think it's beautiful, and he has a long way to go as a designer. Yes, thank you.
Hello. Hey.
You can just talk about what do you want to say about the new designers?
Our new fashion designers actually focus what should focus on, what will sell in market, what they should focus.
Basically, you are the new designers.
Okay. Okay. Am I to say who am I before?
Of course, you have to. There should be an ID.
Okay. Hi everybody, this is Neeraj Gaba here. Fashion designing today and fashion designers today. So one must remember that in this industry, as important as perception, it's very important that we have a business acumen in place as well. A lot of designers kind of somewhere, I understand that designing is all about creativity. A lot of people do not understand the business part of it. But in today's time where everything is kind of globally becoming very, the globe is kind of shortening up, or it's becoming smaller. So one must understand that if one needs to survive in today's time, one needs to have a great business acumen. So if you are an upcoming designer in today's time, it is very important that you concentrate on your creativity. If you don't understand the business part of it, bring in somebody who understands the business part of it and you can trust them. So yes, so I think these would be my 2 bits. So go ahead, grow, evolve, create, do a lot of research and don't plagiarize. There are a lot of people who plagiarize today. Best of luck.